listening to your horses want to just talk to you. I have two horses specifically that kind of tell you today is the day I'd like this, and today is the day I'd like to talk to you about this. And there's other days that they absolutely want nothing to do with that conversation. So, for example, this morning, Ritz wanted to tell me that he really enjoyed the company that he had yesterday. So how he did that was he had a lot of attention yesterday, and Ritz really loves attention. But some days when I put him outside, he just thanks me for taking his halter off, gives me my morning kiss on. I always kiss their muzzle before I let them leave me in the mornings, and so normally I get my morning kiss, and off he goes. That it's not always any engagement other than that. But some days he really wants to, visit. And yesterday he had 2 visitors, and he greatly enjoyed both his visitors. And he really liked having that kind of attention yesterday. So when he wants to tell me stuff like that, like, oh, I really liked having, all that attention yesterday, and in basically an effort to prolong it, to continue it, he will let me know through affection or through some kind of obvious interaction that he really enjoyed that and would like a little bit more of that kind of time. So this morning when I took his halter off and went to step back to get into position to kiss his muzzle, he grabbed the rope on the halter, which is Ritz's kind of playful interaction with me. And like I said, some days he's happy to just have his halter taken off, give his morning kiss, and off he goes, and no interaction or engagement whatsoever. When he does things like that, where it was an obvious, I'm not ready to just say goodbye, let's spend a little time together, I eat that up. And if your horse is like that, you should eat that up. Because if your horse is asking you to engage with them, your horse is asking you to play with them, your horse is asking you to spend a little time with them, eat that up, that's awesome that your horse will ask you for attention. Politely, he wasn't being rude, he wasn't, pushing into me like I want negative attention, because, horses will look for that too. If they don't get the kind of attention, if that doesn't create good attention, they will look for negative attention. Attention's attention sometimes. But, like I said, some days he won't engage at all. Some days he's just like, I know there's hay waiting for me in that shed, I'm out of here. And, I just say, all right, have a good day, and off he goes. I don't get hurt by it by any means. Katie, she's another one. Katie loves to hug. And what I call a hug is she'll press her cheek against you. Like if you go and you halter her, and now you're going to step away so you can invite her out of the stall, when you do that cheek piece, if she's interested in having some kind of interaction, Katie will press her cheek against you before you can step back out of the stall. If she's not interested, she won't, and I don't force that connection. I take it and eat it up when she offers it, but that's another horse that will absolutely say, let's have a moment, I'm feeling particularly cuddly today. And in fact, the people that were here yesterday called it cuddles with horses, because my horses were particularly cuddly yesterday. They really were loving the attention, and I'm hoping that a video will come up on my Facebook page from them, because I got to watch it before they left. It was like a selfie video that this kid Christopher had taken and I say kid, he's an adult. But he had taken with Ritz and Katie, and just the interaction that my horses were having with them was just priceless. Ritz was really being Ritz, if you know Ritz. And I hope that those videos end up on Facebook for people to watch. But if my horses want to cuddle with me or want to interact with me in the mornings, I make time for it. If that means that my day starts where one of my chores is left undone that I'm going to have to do later, which is kind of a dreaded thing throughout the day, is realizing, oh, I'm not done, I have to go, I have that still to do before my day is over. Sometimes it's a dreaded thing to know you have more chores left at the end of the day, but it's worth it to me to have something left to do if my horses ask to be all cuddled up with or interacted with. The reason I say that was Ritz's way of telling me that he really enjoyed the time he had with those people yesterday was because that interaction was a direct link to yesterday. He directly had a really good day out there with people yesterday, and without question, I perceive his interaction with me as, I really had fun, can we do that again, kind of thing. There's a saying, perception's 100% of the truth, it just depends on how you look at it. I choose to look at my horse's interaction with me as a way of telling me he enjoyed the interaction he had with those people yesterday. I am going to try to capture Katie. Katie does a bow in the mornings. It's really just a stretch, but I've tried really hard to turn it into a command so that way I can get her to bow on command without having to do any kind of trick training. And she's done it for years, and I've never been able to get her to understand that, the word bow. And I even go down with her, I'm like, bow? Because she bows like downward dog. Like she puts her front legs straight out in front of her and bows all the way to her elbows to the ground with her butt up in the air. And it's really very cute, but I've never taught her to do that. And I kind of want it to be something that she does because she invented it, not because I taught it. So I keep trying to get her to understand that if she does it on command, something really good will happen to her, but she's yet to fall for that one. I think she likes it being her thing, but I'm going to hopefully catch that on video someday. But I was, in our horses having their own voice kind of thing too, is in our interaction with my horses yesterday, I told them, how each horse will ask you for interaction. So Ritz, for example, he's a little rude sometimes, he's pretty strong. He'll grab you, he'll stand almost with his chest close to you, and then he'll put his nose up and over your shoulder, and he'll hook you with his cheekbone, and he'll pull you in for a hug. And some days he gets a little overexcited about it and pulls a little bit harder than people like, a little bit harder than I like. But it's his signature thing. He's done it since he was a baby. That's the voice I gave him. If he wants to ask you for a scratch, that's how he asks. Katie, she will put her front feet out like a Spanish walk. And you can get her to Spanish walk, as far as you want before, as long as she thinks you truly will scratch her, at the end of that, she'll Spanish walk forever. But that's how she'll ask, can I get a scratch? Like, I know 100% what my horses are asking for. Like, that is the word, you know what I mean? Like, Ritz hooking you says, will you scratch me? That's the word, scratch, to my horses. Tyson, he'll tap you on the shoulder very, very politely compared to Ritz. And Katie will show you her feet. And those are my horses' signature requests for scratching. But I just wanted to, because Ritz interacted with me today, and I just wanted to say, your horses all have a voice. Your horses all have a way of communicating with you, something that they'd like from you. And especially if it involves affection or positive attention from them to you, asking for positive attention from you to them, eat it up. Eat it up, because let me tell you something. A horse that once, we joked around calling it the Positive Way petting zoo, because my horses were absolutely, you pet me, I'll pet you. You know, my horses were loving it, and then they were responding positively in an affectionate way back. Love that. You know, they thought they were petting big dogs because they were so interactive. And there's horses that you can stand there and pet all day long, and they'll stare into space like, when is this going to be over? You know, I don't want horses like that. And if I get horses here that are like that, I try really, really hard to help them believe that they can be a part of the interaction. And then once you can get them out of their shell, and horses can believe in you as being somebody that's going to let them be a part of it, oh, it's amazing, their personalities. Like, each one of my horses has their own personality, and each one of my horses, even Chase, who when he first got here didn't want you to touch him at all and threatened you between biting, striking, or kicking, you know, he flat out said, put your hands on me, there's something in it for you, but it's not a positive thing. Like, it was a negative reaction to a positive action, and now, you know, you scratch his belly and he'll step sideways and follow you everywhere sideways to ask you to scratch his belly. Like, he loves having his belly scratched. You know, he's he's interactive now in a positive way. He knows how to positively influence you to have a positive response to him. Can't beat that. You know, a horse that absolutely hated interaction now is asking positively for that interaction. All my horses, we have this new horse, Pax. We don't know what his voice is yet. He'd be kind of cool to watch, because we're going to try to find his voice. And when we find his voice, you're going to see how cool that really is. So we might do a whole documentation of him from his first session, because he hasn't done a session with me yet. And I don't know how often we're going to work with him, but I can't wait to see where his voice, you know, what his voice is like. They all have their own voice, and if you let them have their own voice, it's priceless. You can't beat it.